Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. What a fantastic signing we've got. We've been saying all summer, who will be the signing of the summer? Well, I think Brighton might have just stole it at the end. Morpay's won it at the end. Not quite, but Mohammed Kudus from Ajax to Brighton could be happening. David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, all the big hitters are reporting that Ajax and Brighton have agreed a fee of 40 million euros and it now depends on personal terms for the player. Now, you'd always get a little bit concerned about that, but we'll talk about that in a moment. I'm also going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Harry Kane, and as we build towards our Premier League predictions, I'm going to profile Liverpool a little bit. Are Liverpool back? I'm going to start this profiling ahead of the Premier League predictions video I do next week, talking about Liverpool and the expectations there. So make sure you smash a like on the video, make sure you subscribe, and let's get your comments in below on all of this. And we're going to start off with Mohammed Kudus of, not Bayern Munich, Ajax. So, look, to be fair, Brighton have been linked to him all summer. If they get this deal over the line, and it is personal terms with the player that needs to be sorted out, I pray that no Chelsea or any other club swoop in and take him, because I want him to go to Brighton. I think it's so good for the Premier League and it's so good for Brighton if they can sign a player of this quality that quite easily could be going to Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal. He's that quality of player. Early 20s, really sought after talent in European football. And if he goes to Brighton, I'm here for it. I mean, Brighton are the most likeable team in the Premier League. They are, underdogs always. But really, are they ridding themselves of that label? Because they play great football. They're always a threat. They're in Europe this season. And who knows what's possible for them in the Premier League. I mean, obviously, I don't think they'll get top four, but players like this. And look, why would Kudus go to Brighton? Because at the very least, it's a springboard to a bigger club. But you go to the Premier League, you're playing a team that wants to play the right way. How it will work, look, from what I've seen of him at Ajax, predominantly, I think he's actually left-footed, but he plays off the right a lot. He's very good with both feet from what I've seen, but he predominantly plays centrally or off the right or sometimes up front. So this would work really well. I mean, look, straight away you can go Brighton, Matomo on the left, Kudus on the right, Ferguson down the middle. But Brighton are a whole lot more than that. They've got lots of players that can play in lots of different positions. I just think, what a scoop, what a signing. And I'm over the moon for them if they get that deal done. I mean, they are just an inoffensive club, Brighton, unless they're playing your club and then you want to beat them. But I think it's a great signing. I think it's great for the Premier League. I think it's great for Brighton. And we want a Premier League that's competitive. And Brighton were brilliant last year. Lots of people are keeping their eye on Aston Villa. I want a league that's got Brightons and Aston Villas and Tottenhams doing well, because then beyond, and the Chelseas, because then beyond Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester United, Newcastle, you've got another 4 or 5 teams as well. And that's why we've got the best league in the world. So fair play to them if they can get the deal done. What are your thoughts on it in the comments? Just quickly before I talk about Liverpool, not normally do I do a Saturday night video actually, but there's some good reasons to do it. Harry Kane, there was this deadline of midnight last night for Bayern Munich. Obviously, we've not heard any developments on that. We actually tweeted out of our Twitter account, funnily enough, a few hours ago, that Daniel Levy's actually in, I think, Florida. He's in the USA at the moment. So what impact that has on Spurs' transfer business in general when you're, chief negotiator, or is historically or stereotypically has been the chief negotiator, isn't even in the country. I don't know. I mean, might be doing it by Zoom and stuff like that, but I don't know what Spurs fans think about that. But I've got to say the Harry Kane transfer just hasn't really caught my imagination, whether he goes to Bayern Munich or he stays at Spurs. It's just not the sort of deal that I find that exciting. But that's the latest on that. And then I want to just spend a few minutes on Liverpool, because I will be doing my famous Premier League predictions. I enjoy it. I enjoy it more at the end of the season when I see how much I got wrong. And obviously I'm putting together my thoughts on that. And as part of that, you've got to start looking at all the teams. And I think that, straight away I can see teams that I think are going to struggle. They don't see... I mean, look, Crystal Palace have done no business. And if they're going to lose... Zaha's gone. Elise goes to Chelsea or Man City, that's another transfer to keep an eye on. I worry about Palace. I know Hodgson did well at the end of last season, but I worry about them. But Liverpool, what about Liverpool? Well, the interesting thing is a lot of stories coming out about Liverpool today about how Jurgen Klopp went into last season with a bit of trepidation, felt like the team just wasn't quite right, whereas this season he's accepted and embraced the fact that he's needed to build another team and he's feeling a lot more confident. No better start to the Premier League season, and we'll be doing it as a watch-along a week tomorrow, which is Chelsea-Liverpool opening day, opening weekends. What a game that will be, because it's two teams that, if they start with a win, it could kickstart their whole season. If you lose, it could be a setback. So it would be a setback. But I think with Liverpool, where they stand, I'd lean, look, it's not definitive, but with Liverpool, are they going to have another bad season, or are they going to have another good season? And where we are at the moment, and the proof's in the pudding until you see it, but I think that I would lean towards Liverpool having a good season more than a bad season at the moment. Like I say, not definitely, but I would lean towards that a little bit. Because to me, it was always logical. You know, when I was doing the Talk Sport show on Saturday nights, you got Liverpool fans phoning in, some of them saying it might be time for Klopp to go, majority saying not. It gets you thinking, and I always said, look, we had Sir Alex Ferguson for years. He was the master of breaking a team apart and building a new one. And I said that's what Jurgen Klopp's got to do. He's built a very, very good Liverpool side. But the way he wants to play, it's high intensity. There's players, you know, sort of not at the end of their career, but the point in their career where they can't do that anymore. The Jordan Hendersons, the Fabinhos, the James Milners. He's got to replace those players. He's got to build another team. And I think if he gets that right, then I think Liverpool will go back to doing what they can, because Jurgen Klopp is still one of the best managers in the world. I think it's a big ask for anybody. I mean, somebody's got to do it. Obviously, without giving any spoilers away, I think Man City will win the league. But somebody, if it's not going to be Man City... I mean, imagine Man City have a terrible season. Who's going to win the league? I think Man City will win the league, but imagine they had a bad season. Imagine loads of things went wrong for them and they had a really bad year. Who's the next best team? Or who's the team that might challenge Man City? And I think in that position, there's a few clubs. Obviously, Arsenal. I'd like to think Manchester United, but it's hard to think that at the moment, to be honest with you. And Liverpool would be the logical one, because I don't think Newcastle can do it. I don't think the Villas and the Chelseas and the Brightons are going to do it. So really, it's Man City and it's Arsenal or Liverpool and maybe Man United. And that's a big step forward for Liverpool, who just weren't there last year. So I think my feeling is that Liverpool probably are a team that can push for it this season, but they've got to feed the attack better. They've got an abundance of goal-scoring talent, whether it's Gakpo, Nunez, Salah, Jota, Diaz. They've got so many good players. I feel I'm missing one there. Defensively, I think they have got good players. I think they've got the best goalkeeper in the league in Alisson, but that midfield is going to be key. And of course, you look at that midfield at the moment, Fabinho is still there. Lavia has not come in. That midfield is unrecognisable. Thiago, has he gone yet? Henderson has gone. Fabinho is going to go. That's a big, big hole in that midfield that's got to be filled by new players. And I think that, games are won and lost in the midfield, and that will be the interesting thing. The midfield will make or break Liverpool's season. I think it broke Liverpool's season last year, and it needed breaking apart and rebuilding, but is it a little bit too much to expect that midfield to gel and work straight away? Especially when I still think they've got another signing to do, which is probably Lavia. Look, I think get your comments in below about Liverpool. I posed the question, what are your thoughts on Liverpool this season? Is it so simple that you say, yeah, they're going to get back in a title race or a second place race? Or is it more of a question mark around that midfield that could push them more into a fourth place race? I mean, at the end of the day, we started with Brighton. If Liverpool played Brighton next week, would Liverpool win? This is the challenge of the Premier League and how challenging it might be. Anyway, get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video. And please do subscribe. We're on the road to 1 million. Premier League predictions are coming next week. I've got a new podcast coming up next week. Keep listening for that and watching for that. And obviously the watch-alongs and everything kick off next week as well. I can't wait to be watching football with you again and debating what is the best flavoured biscuit or crisps. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.